Last week, I shared the moment I realized I had been decorating my home with things instead of with a feeling. Once I understood how I wanted our home to feel, I honestly thought I had solved the most difficult part, and that was behind me. It wasn't, because now I realized I had to look at everything I already owned and ask myself, does this belong in that feeling? Oddly enough, that journey did not begin in my living room. It began inside a storage closet. When I opened those doors, I was simply expecting to organize. I've done that many times before. I thought I'd straighten a few shelves, sort through some baskets, and just let go of things that we no longer used. Instead, I ended up questioning almost every item I had been saving in that decor closet, as well as some pieces I had been decorating with. Not because they weren't beautiful, many of them were. Some were things that I had searched a long time to find, some I had thrifted, some were family treasures. Many of the items were things that you and I had DIY'd together. The question wasn't, are these beautiful? The question became, if I love them so much, why aren't they a part of my everyday life? And why doesn't my home feel the way I want it to? If you're new here, I'm Angel, and this channel is really about learning to live well in the home we already have. As I stood there looking through shelf after shelf, I realized something that honestly surprised me. The things that I loved most weren't sitting on the dining room table or on my bookshelves in my office or on our new mantle in the family room. They were stored in this closet, maybe stacked in a basket, just waiting. And I remember thinking, what exactly am I waiting or saving them for? As I reflected on all of this, I realized living with lots of things weren't why I loved our home. I think it was because the things I loved were a part of our everyday life. I wasn't storing them for someday. They lived with me. If I wanted to move a basket into another room, I did. If I found a better place for a candle or a vase, I simply moved it. My seasonal decorations came out for fall and Christmas, but everything else became a part of the rhythm of our home. And somewhere along the way, without even realizing it, I had started collecting more than I was actually living with and storing it. As I reflected on that, I noticed something else. Whenever I felt like my home was missing something, I'd often see a beautifully styled room somewhere and think, oh, maybe that's it. I'd bring home one more beautiful basket. I'd find another gorgeous lamp at Home Goods or one more vase, believing it might finally create that feeling that I was looking for. But after I placed it, most times something still felt off, unfinished. Not because the piece itself wasn't beautiful and I didn't love it, but because I was asking one object to create a feeling that only thoughtful curation can create. I finally realized something new wasn't what my home was missing. That's when another pattern began to emerge. As I unpacked shelf after shelf, I started smiling and laughed out loud. Wood, brass, thrifted items, my Wolford candles, marble, warm brown and earthy green tones. I was choosing and purchasing the same materials and things over and over again and had been for years. And then I thought about Christmas, the season I've always loved decorating the most. When I looked back at my Christmas decorations, I realized that many of these same materials and colors had been in my Christmas decor all along: natural greens, warm woods, brass, candle and candlelight, soft textiles. It wasn't a new style I was trying to discover. It was the style I'd already been living nearly every Christmas. Somehow I trusted my instincts during that season, but the rest of the year I packed it away and I kept wondering if I should be creating a different look. That's when I realized I wasn't searching for my style anymore. I was repeatedly confirming it. I just didn't trust myself yet. That's when I really started asking myself these few simple questions. These are not rules. They are actually the filters that helped me see my home a different way. I asked myself, if I saw this today, would I buy it again? Does this support the feeling I want our home to have? Am I keeping this because I truly love it, or because I paid good money for it and I've simply always had it? Is this adding clarity to my home, or is it just adding more? If everything in this closet had to earn its place again, would this item still belong? Those questions quietly changed everything about my mindset and the way I thought about my house. Honestly, the biggest surprise wasn't how much left the closet that day. It was how much came out of it. So many of the pieces I truly love finally found a place in the rooms where we actually live. And something unexpected happened. Instead of feeling like I had less, our home felt richer, more peaceful, and much, much more personal. Because I wasn't waiting for a special occasion to enjoy any of the things that I loved. They had finally worked their way into becoming part of our everyday life. There was one more thing I hadn't anticipated. 4 years ago, after losing my mother, many of the decorating pieces she had loved found their way into our home. She taught me so much about decorating a home, not because she had endless resources. That she did not. She simply had an incredible gift for seeing beauty and creating warmth with whatever she had. For a long time, I think I believed I was honoring those pieces by carefully storing them away, tucked where they could be preserved and protected. But somehow, during this particular process, I realized I'm pretty sure that's not what she would have wanted. She didn't teach me to hide beautiful things. She taught me to live with them. Today, throughout our home, there are baskets that were hers, wooden pieces she treasured, little dishes and objects that most people would never know hold a story. One of my favorite moments is when someone notices one of those pieces and says, "Oh, that's beautiful." And I smile and answer, "Thank you. That was my mother's." For just that brief moment, it feels as though she's still quietly teaching me what makes a house feel like a home. Today, there is very little sitting in that closet, not because I wanted to own less or because I'm a minimalist, that I am not, but because I wanted to live more fully with the things that already meant something to me, that made me feel something. Now, when I bring something new into our home, I usually know exactly where it belongs or what it's replacing. I can't tell you now how often I will visit one of my favorite home decor stores, and more often than not, I leave there without purchasing a single item. Because I've learned that a meaningful home isn't always about collecting more beautiful things. It's built by surrounding yourself with the things that you love, not what someone else told you to love or what happened to be trending at the moment. Using them, enjoying them, and allowing them to become part of your everyday life, that is what's important. These questions didn't stay in the closet. They began changing every room in our home. And I'm not exaggerating. In our next video, I'll take you into our sitting room and dining room, where simply moving what we already owned revealed what the rooms actually needed and what they never needed at all. Before buying anything new, we challenged ourselves to see our home with fresh eyes. What happened surprised me and my husband a lot. I can't wait to share that journey with you. But before our next visit together, I'd love for you to look around just one room in your home and ask yourself, what do I already own that deserves to be part of my everyday life? I have a feeling the answer might surprise you just as much as it surprised me. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Until next time, let's keep learning to live well in the home we already have. And remember, stay on the journey as we continue making our way home. Until next time, bye-bye.